Hello, hello, and welcome. I am the Chris who plays games, playing retro games every Monday at 9:15, whatever. I feel like every Friday at 9:15. Tonight is Monday evening, and so tonight we are continuing with our retro gameplay playthrough of Mischief Makers. This seems a little bit loud, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit. There we go, there we go, there we go. YouTube did not change the general super chat icon, but what they did change is the super chat for good icon, which is what you are seeing at the bottom of the chat right now. If you're looking at YouTube or YouTube Gaming, that little hand with the heart in it is your way of donating to Kids in Need of Defense, an organization that helps kids in need of defense, helps aid unaccompanied minors who need legal representation in immigration court and other places. So all donations tonight will be going directly to them. 100% of your donation via Super Chat for Good will be going to them. So that's a thing that you should know. I'm a little bit late here. I was distracted by taking notes for the stream tonight. I was taking notes and I forgot that I had to actually, stream and shit. So, there we go. Now we're set. The game is set. The volume's set. The buttons are set. Everything is set. And we are gonna get started here. So, sun's coming out and we better get this party started. There are 5 worlds in this game. We are currently on world 4-3. And so this would normally mean, like, I'd be worried, like, oh no, I'm gonna finish this too soon. But knowing my luck and seeing how hard this game has gotten in these last few levels, I'm a little bit worried that maybe I still won't be able to finish it, because this is kind of the way I go. I get to the end of a game and I'm kind of like, oh, I'm like gonna finish too quick, and then it ends up being like, 1273, aka 1:13 in the morning, and I still haven't finished. So we're just gonna play through and see how it goes. Worst case scenario, maybe we'll just grab something else and play it for a little bit. So this woman who lost her kids earlier in the game, I am now trying to help find her children again. Apparently she is just very bad at keeping track of her children, and so we are off to try and see if we can do anything about this. So she's got 7 kids now. She had 3 in World 1 and now she's got 7, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so this guy looks like he's gonna try and kill me with bombs. Interesting that the music didn't change. When I was playing this level earlier, I feel like the bosses all had different music. Weird. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so it is Monday night. It's the first Monday in Summer Games Done Quick. Well, the first Monday, the only Monday in Summer Games Done Quick. But it's the first full day of Summer Games Done Quick has just been wrapping up, so I've been watching some speed runs over on Summer Games Done Quick, of course sponsored by Twitch. So if you are interested in watching Summer Games Done Quick at all this week, you can check out my Twitch channel. The name is CR Schmidt, and you can hop over there and watch with me and whoever else might be around. We've had Brad Pritchard as well as a couple others stop by. I am not gonna do so well. So my most recent trip was actually to not to San Francisco, but to LA. This did not go so well. Okay. Oh, I'm not really sure that was what I meant to do, but okay. We're gonna do that anyway. You're here, Van Helsing. It's good to see you, as well as James. I didn't say hi, and Yugi, of course, here to tell me everything that I don't know about every game in the world, because somehow he just has that ability. I want to thank you all for being here, and anyone else who is here, sitting in the background. Feel free to, voice your opinions. Tell me who you are and why you're here and what you're doing here and whether you like me, because that's, of course, the most important part of any live stream is how much people like me. Everything else is really just a minor relevant point. You can talk about video games, you can talk about anything else, but we really know that the most important part of live streaming is that I get to be the center of attention without even having to feel all that guilty for it. So happy to have all of you here helping me achieve that important goal for my live stream. We are going to be talking a little bit about VidCon tonight. I did just get back from VidCon. This is my 4th VidCon. My first VidCon as not a YouTube employee, which was interesting. In the past, I have felt a little bit more obligated to go to the YouTube talks in order to support some of my coworkers, or just listen to the things that maybe I think would be relevant for other people to hear. And this time I felt no such obligation. I was paying for it out of pocket. It was not a company thing. And so I felt perfectly capable of just doing whatever I wanted. All right, I'm going to shake a gem out of you and then find out. Do I know what happened to your brother? I have to get home to mom. No, I don't know what happened to your brother, but you want me to go save him. That's fine. This game is weird. Oh, well, I heart you too, Stingray. I'll opinion my voices. I don't... Oh, your voice, your opinions. Got it. Alright. I was gonna say, I don't get it. It's a joke, somehow, but I don't understand. Okay, so, one thing I learned earlier about this one is that, he's gonna drop green gems, and green gems give me lots of life. So my current approach is actually just going to be to kind of wait him out and just look for those green gems to pop out and make sure I hit them. We'll also pick up the red ones. The red ones will give us points to continue, but the green ones will allow us to get full life. So in this game, as far as I can tell, you have up to 3 health bars. So I'm currently on my first health bar, so my health was pretty low. And so we're gonna see if we can get through here and get at least through 2 full health bars before we move on. Because otherwise, it can be hard to beat the levels. Alright. Hello, Lave. This game is, I don't know. You know, Brad was mentioning that it's a game that has gotten kind of good reviews as being one of the ones that maybe should have gotten more credit at the time or something. It's fine. It's not great. The control scheme is weird. You know, it's definitely a niche, you know, control scheme. It's different, and I will absolutely give it that. Oh, I missed that green one. And I absolutely think that, you know, it's nice to have something that's a little bit different style of platform or a little bit different style of control that lets you experiment a bit more with how you control. Like, I like when games do that, but I feel like this one just kind of feels like it missed the mark for me. I don't enjoy the, you know, shake everything, the double down tap in order to achieve anything. I don't really love the coin mechanic for continues, I guess, isn't that bad. I kind of just want unlimited continues at full life. I kind of don't like the grinding out things here. Like, I guess that's what, like, this part here, if I continued and I had full health bar, then I wouldn't have to worry about it. And I feel like that's the thing that I want in general, is that I want games to allow me to come into a level without feeling like I have to find a spot to grind away. And I feel like games that don't do that, like this one, oh, I missed it. I don't know if actually standing on these things as they pop. Okay, it doesn't hurt me, so I can just like, oh, nope, it does. Okay. I lied. In fact, it is exactly the opposite of what I was just saying. So yeah, I would love to not have to grind just because, you know, I don't have enough red gems or whatever. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Alright, so I think that actually puts me up to full life at this point. We'll grab one more of these. Yeah, okay, I'm full life now. Oh, well, was, but whatever. At some point I'm gonna take damage anyway. Yeah, so the way that you're supposed to do this is basically you hit those little things, you grab them, and then, yeah. Okay, and I'll shake you. Alright, that doesn't help me, but whatever. I'll shake you anyway, and now you'll give me a little talkie box. I'm no longer a child. We're looking for King Aster's hidden somewhere in the cave. We won't let any empire rule us any longer. Am I centered? I am centered. But yeah, so VidCon was fun. I had a lot of fun. I got to see friends. You know, it's interesting to see the different communities that kind of came out. This year was, I think, the first year that, maybe not the first year. Did Lalo make it last year? I can't remember. But it was definitely a, you know, significant community shift, especially at like the IHOP breakfast. A lot of friends of Creekcraft and, you know, Biolithic and Lalo and stuff like that, as well as I saw Snip Cliquette in person for the first time, who is very short. I guess, you know, I knew that in theory, but in practice I didn't know that. So I do actually have recordings of a bunch of the talks, including the Hank Green talk. And so I can, oh, ouch, that was dumb of me. Okay, getting yourself pinned in the corner from a guy who, like, spawns spike balls, maybe not the smartest move on my part. Oh, there we go. Oh, missed. All right, come back here. And so I realized that being there is not quite the same, but that is one that I think was a fun talk. The other interesting one was the Patreon talk from Jack Conti, who I always enjoy. I think he's a great speaker. I think he's a great guy who tries really hard to do the absolute best thing by his, you know, his user base. And he was able to talk about content creation and how, you know, pretty much everything in life fails. So he just went through a whole string of his hundreds of failures that he's had in his life and talked about the 2 successes he's had and explained that, you know, just because he's had successes, because he's had 2, Pamplemousse and Patreon, does not mean that, you know, he suddenly has gotten all better and now, like, everything is fine and dandy. Like, it is, in fact, the opposite, that even after you succeed, you kind of think, like, oh, now I've got it made. Like, I will just succeed from now on. And it turns out that that isn't the case. That pretty much all success is fleeting and short-lived, and just because you figured out the equation once doesn't mean you will forevermore. He talked about, you know, live streaming concerts back in 2012 and how, you know, it worked once, but they kind of had to cancel them, even though they could charge tickets and they'd make like $2,000 from them, that it still wasn't enough to, you know, carry on and continue doing it. He talked about how, you know, after having his success with making music videos for his band, he went ahead and, you know, tried to make these other music videos and spent months on some of them, and these huge projects that he was hugely invested in, and they failed, just completely bombed, to the point where he thought YouTube was broken, and actually emailed his MCN, and they said, no, Jack, like, it just sucks. Yeah, he's the guy who started Patreon, that's right. And, you know, just talked about how, like, you know, life is just an unending series of failures. And another thing he added, and this is, I think, a quote from a cyclist, is basically, you know, it doesn't get any easier, but you do get faster at it. Now, I will say that there are some people who I think, you know, I don't know, this is a thing that I'm a little bit torn on. I think there are some people who just don't have the knack for doing creative things, but I think there are also the type of people who don't tend to fail hundreds of times. If you don't have the like the energy or the something else to fail hundreds of times, like that's the kind of situation where, you know, I don't know. I guess it's hard. I don't know. I guess everyone's good at something. Like, everyone's good at something. You gotta find the thing you're good at, but everyone's good at something. There's no person out there who doesn't have some unique skill that's different than everyone else in the world. We all have enough skills that we can look at, and enough things in the world that are interesting to other people, that there's something for everyone that you can succeed at. And so if you just keep trying different things, if you keep trying to figure out your voice and what you're skilled at, if you have that patience and that, you know, wherewithal to stick with it. Thanks for your help. I'll see ya. Well, yeah, I guess you're welcome. I mean, you were just trying to bomb me or something, but whatever. Guess we'll just kind of ignore that. Oh, I don't know where the next place to go is. Directions. One over here. Nope, I already got that one. All right. Yeah, well, and that's what he said. And so, like, one of the things he explicitly mentioned is the, you know, the tendency for humans to look at the dips, and because we were trained, and this is some of the best part, is, you know, talking about the adrenaline response and our overall response to threats, is to have this, like, innate, you know, okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 2 more. Try and go down here and see if we can find some more. So we were trained by, you know, hundreds of thousands of years of evolution to escape lions, right? We were trained to run at the slightest, you know, evidence of any problem. We were trained to react to the slightest change, and to react with fear and an adrenaline response that, you know, cuts down on your ability to think rationally, and to increases your muscle mass and increases all these other things. And that was great when we had to run from lions for a living. But it's really bad when what we're doing is trying to, you know, live our lives. In the modern world, what we should do instead is think about this in a, oh, that's nice. All right. I even move on my own. Yes, I am a weird robot maid that moves on my own. And so it is really, really, you know, easy for us to, as humans, to look at any slight downward trend and go, oh my god, I'm never going to do anything good again. And this is coming from Jack Conte, who's done, as far as I'm concerned, like, created the absolute best creator-focused platform on the planet, excuse me, in the form of Patreon. This guy is sitting here saying, like, I have a hard time remembering that I'm not going to just suck at everything I do forever. Excuse me. Hello, gaming lawyer. Caw! And he's sitting here saying, like, yeah, I have to remember that, like, it's not the end of the world when something goes wrong. It's not the end of the world when, you know, my latest project doesn't go well. It talks so much about how, you know, he still has failures. It's still everything he does. The vast majority of everything he does is a failure. And how difficult that is to get used to and remember. There we go. There's the last one. And one of the reasons that he actually said he started Patreon was in order to, you know, for people who have found a little bit of that success and a little bit of that ability to connect with a fan base. And this doesn't work for everybody, but for people who are doing that, to, you know, be rewarded. In addition to the fact that he also saw that he was, you know, he would have 1 million views on a video of his and made $166 on it. It's like, you know, this is ridiculous. Like, my fans value me more than advertisers value their attention. Like, it's ridiculous for me to look at this and I think that I can monetize my fans more effectively than that. And so while he was working on some ridiculous project, he was building like a replica Millennium Falcon in his garage or something. Alright, cool. I mean, I already had full life, thank you, but that's good. I'm the reckless heroine. I'm Sarij. Well, I don't think you're as cute or smart as I... Well, thanks. Appreciate that, I guess. Thank you, miss. You've saved my life. Here's a small reward. That is a small reward. By the way, do you have to know why Kalina kidnapped your kids? Long ago, there was a great king named King Aster. The kingdom was destroyed by the Empire, but the king was able to escape this cave. However, the king's one and only daughter, Ondine, was missing. Now we're looking for the king and Ondine, who should now be the queen. I bet the Empire isn't happy about this. If the king returns, his troops will follow him. At least that's the hope. But first, we must destroy Kalina. Kalina's looking for Terran and Selves. I don't remember who any of these people are. I don't care about your story. Terran has a strong inner power. Okay, cool. Oh god! Oh, okay. My buddies await me in heaven. Alright, I guess I'm... Alright. Guess I went and smacked that lady somehow. You must be strong, you're no longer a baby. Uh-oh. I'm trying to figure out if this whole scene is like a flashback somehow? Or if this is part of the level? Is it easier to accept failure when you have something to fall back on? I mean, certainly it's easier to accept failure when... I mean, there's lots of reasons why it could be easier or harder to accept failure, right? Like, if you succeeded in the past, it's easier to tell yourself, like, well, you know, at least I've done something good in the past. If you have, you know, a day job that you work for, it's easier to distract yourself with other things. Open your eyes. Should have been more careful. I'm sorry. There's no time for crying. Help me think of a plan. Oh, what I believe is a recovery machine called Mr. Health. Let's go after Mr. Health. Wait, does this mean I'm not going to be Marina? Just going to be this crying chick or something? Uh oh. Guess I'm going to be this guy. Okay. I don't care about any of you. Okay. Yeah, so it's a lot easier to be able to look past failure if you can look to the successes you've had in the past. It's a lot easier to look and find successes in the past if you've actually had some. It's probably easier if you've got, you know, a day job or something else that you can look at and distract yourself with. Like, there's all kinds of good and bad aspects that could be part of that. I don't really know. Problematic. Oh. I guess I can hang on things? Okay. That's useful to know. Probably would have been good if I had talked to those people at the beginning. They probably would have told me things that were useful. Okay, so I can also triple jump. Also useful to know. Hello, Matus! Okay, you are gone. Whoa! Okay, that's a pit. That did not, I think, go as I had hoped. But yeah, I mean, he was talking about failures from as far back as he can remember. He talked about, you know, putting months and months of time into claymation projects that were literally seen by just his parents, because they were projects that were done on, you know, VHS tapes before there was a YouTube. He talked about wanting to put together a vacation video when he was a kid, and so he recorded all of this vacation footage on Super 8 tapes when he was a kid, and thinking that, you know, at some point I'll go back and I'll actually put this video together, and they've just been sitting in his garage for the past 30 years. And apparently recently he was talking to someone on like an Uber ride, and the Uber driver explained to him that, like, Super 8 tapes actually just degrade if you don't use them after like 5 years. So he realized that this project, this tapes that he's been holding on to for the past 25 years haven't been, like, even watchable for the past, or for 30 years that haven't been watchable for the past 25. You know, so just all of these failures that he went through before hitting just one good success with Pamplemousse after 20 years of doing creative works. And really, you know, as far as he told it, I don't know that he did a lot of things other than tried to be an artist. You know, when he talked about his failures, he didn't have a lot of successes in between there, or things like that. And I guess he probably worked at something that, you know, was a day job, because you can't just fail as being an artist forever and have that be your only source of income, it turns out. But yeah, so I've been lucky to have something that I can look at and say, you know, I worked on open layers early on in my career. I was able to get a job at tech companies and do some of this other cool stuff. But it is also the case that I've gone through and said, you know, open layers was basically like probably the most impactful thing I'll ever do in my life. And it was something that I did in 2006. I will never do something as impactful as that again. I will never work for a company with as much influence as YouTube again, because there's only a few of them in the world. And it's you know, it's a thing. Gaming lawyer, I hate to give you bad news, but VidCon was last week. I'm back from VidCon. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time telling if Gaming Lawyer is kidding. Alright, I don't know what's going on here. This is what I get for not paying any attention to the story, I guess. Okay. I don't know, like, I was feeling really bad, because I did try, like, I try to reach out to everybody and make sure everyone is included and has all the information they need and everything else like that. And so you're just being like, all right, go ahead, blow yourself up. No, is that gonna work? Same emulator. I did not go looking for a better one. I don't think that that's the problem I'm having here, though. I think that she just has the ability to float in midair. And I'm just supposed to be doing something other than what I'm doing as far as an attack approach. Ah! Okay, so she just has the ability to, like, permanently jump and hover. Kinda sucks. And I don't have the ability to punch in midair, as far as I can tell. Okay, I can kick. There we go. Got him! Got him! Yeah, HDR support in Windows is garbage. Absolutely. One thing that my coworker who does HDR work was at one point helping me do some color correction in HDR because I was borrowing a GH5 last year at VidCon, and so I was like, okay, show me what my HDR thing can do. And he like pulled up the computer. He's like, oh right, everything looks gray except for the one app that has like built-in HDR support because of that. I mean, so there's a couple of problems that I have with this statement, Matus. All right, so I'm gonna show. We're gonna look at what's being shown here. Matus said that he thinks the gaming lawyer did go to VidCon. So I got two problems here. One, that is mighty at Summer Games Done Quick, not at VidCon. And two, yes, you're right. That is clearly gaming lawyer. He is in Minnesota, but that's not VidCon. So that's really it. I don't think that's GDC either. I think that's GDQ, but that's okay. Alright, I don't know what's going on anymore, but I appear to be Marina again. Excellent. The evil gorilla appears. Alright, stop calling me a gorilla. Don't you know I'm the infamous Sasquatch Beta? No, I didn't know that. Are you the stage boss I'm going to easily delete next? Was the question I asked. He objected to that question. Alright, this is not working for me, I don't think, because he's not blinking, and if they're not blinking, usually it means I'm not doing damage to them. Oh, okay. Alright, fine. Oh, okay. Alright, so I need to wait for him to kind of charge dash me and hit him. Oh. Okay, so what I probably need to do is when he makes the rocks fall, I need to grab a rock. And then wait until he becomes attackable. And then throw it at him. Ah! Alright. Okay, I definitely need to do that. Alright. Ow! Okay, so Jack Conti was one of the more inspirational talks at VidCon. The other one was Hank Green's creator keynote talk. Both were very good. I enjoy Jack Conte. I've always enjoyed Jack Conte. Whenever I talk to him, he's great. I actually talked to him a little bit after his talk 3 years ago at VidCon, and he's just a great guy. I think that, you know, Patreon being one of the few platforms out there that really just only works when it's entirely focused on creators, that they have no stream, no way to succeed, no anything else without creators, is really focused in entirely the best direction it can. And the last question in his Q&A was basically like, what happens when you screw up? How do you keep your team motivated when the going gets rough? And he basically said, yeah, it's really hard. And I'm going to fuck up sometimes, and I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm going to, you know, do all this. But his whole talk was basically just about the fact that in everything he's done, 99 times out of 100, his creative projects have just been a total and utter belly flops. And so to have that, you know, in mind when doing things other than thinking about his creative projects is important as well. When looking at product decisions or looking at other things that he does in his life. Ah. So I need to, like, I don't know. Do that. What the fuck? But yeah, and I thought that was really interesting because, you know, he kind of said, like, this is going to get a little bit personal with me, and the way I read it, and I think I'm probably not the only person in the room who read it this way, was basically this was his mea culpa on the big, like, Patreon screw up earlier this year. That was entirely how it sounded to me, is him basically standing there saying, like, look, sometimes I screw up, and this was one of those times. So that was interesting. You know, it's always interesting to hear from a successful CEO whose opinion I value, and yeah. I guess also Patreon expects to give out $300 million to creators this year, and they have 160 staff, which means that they make about, I do the math on this? Like their total income, since they're going to give 300 million to creators, it means that they're going to take about 16 million for themselves, 15 million, because they take about 5%. So they're running on a business of about $16 million in annual revenue for themselves, or I don't know, revenue is the wrong word for that because they take money in from creators or whatever that's bigger than that, but so yeah, they have about $16 million in cash coming in every year and 160 staff, which seemed like a lot. Seems like it's hard to pay people well when that's all you got, so. Oh, did I do it? Cool, I guess. I didn't realize I was hitting him. I'm Ultra Intergalactic Cybot G, Marina. Better get stronger than you are now. See ya. I'm out of here. Out of 9,000. Rank D, try harder. I mean, know how to do something is clearly important. Oh, it's you, Marina. I'm King Aster, leader of the Resistance. You catch these ghosts for me? Isn't King Aster the bad guy? I guess I misunderstood some of the story by skipping all of it. So yeah, so that was Jack Conti's talk. He was very inspirational, and he's always just a lot of fun. Like, he went through this whole thing, and at the beginning of his talk, he was like, you know, doing the fuck. Oh shit. Controller got busted. He was doing the Pekka Kucha style, like, you know, slide every 3 seconds, or not Pekka Kucha, but the lightning round, you know, slide every 3 seconds style thing. And at about 3 minutes in, he was basically like, so, you know, this is a thing that I've done, is like made all these slides, but if I keep doing this, I'm going to have like a bajillion slides given how many slides I have. And so I can't keep doing this. Oh, okay. Because there's just no way for me to do this and make, you know, I would have to make like, you know, 700 slides if I was going to keep doing it this way. I don't know what to do with this. Oh, okay. And so, like, 2 minutes into the thing, he says, like, you know, oh, so I guess this is just another thing I've failed, making this presentation in this style, and added it to his list of, you know, failures that he was thinking of, which I thought was a cute approach to exactly what he was trying to communicate, which is, you know, we fail in pretty much everything we do. That's, like, creative life is failure. But yeah, so then Hank Green, in the creator keynote, he said, you know, they're giving me 8 minutes to talk, so I figured I would give 2 talks, because that seems like a smart thing to do, right? And so he gave 2 talks. One of them was, I hate ads, but I think they're totally necessary, or something along those lines. Let me pull up my notes. Ads are important, and I hate them. There we go. How am I supposed to get this ghost? Like, he's inside of a wall. Oh, I have to blow up that green thing with the bombs. Okay. That's what the bombs are for. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and drop this thing here. Yeah. And Cloud, do you come down? Yes. Alright, cool. Part 2, Barbara. Part 2. Do. That's why it says part 2 in the title. Alright, Cloud, come down. Cloud? I love you, Cloud. There we go. Alright, let's scoop out this bomb and get going. But yes, ads are important and I hate them. So that was a talk at the creator keynote that was entirely about the fact that he would love to see... Oh, well, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. I thought that was going to, like, blow up that whole green thing. I guess not. Oh, okay. Hi. I guess I'll take care of that ghost. And, oh yeah, I mean, well, so when not streaming, I pay attention to the story a lot more. Like, I did pay attention to the story in Tomb Raider when I played it, but I never pay attention when streaming, because it's like, you know, am I going to sit here and read through all this out loud? No. Like, that would be boring for everyone watching, so I guess I'm just going to, you know, skip through all these cutscenes and call it done. Hank Green, yeah, so Hank Green was talking about that and talked about, from a couple of perspectives, basically said, and I kind of hate this because the example he used I really don't like, but he said, you know, why don't we make the money that people get from YouTube content be more like the money that people get from the music industry. Like, the music industry is, like, massively funded by subscriptions rather than... Alright, let's talk to you. 13 ghosts that I must capture. Move or destroy statues and effigies to make finding the ghosts easier. Certain effigies can be destroyed by bombs. Okay. So, let's go destroy some effigies. Okay, I can't move that one, so I'm gonna grab a bomb and blow those up. Aha! Found a ghost. Okay, so there's a ghost there. We'll take a bomb on our way and go destroy some more of these statues. So he talked about the music industry and talked about the subscription model of the music industry. So talked about, you know, Spotify and other music services that give money based on subscriptions. And so how could we, you know, make YouTube Red a thing like that? How could we create other alternative monetization from fan funding and subscriptions, like direct subscriptions, like the memberships program that YouTube has? How could we do all of these different things to make the funding models be more like the music industry? And now I am not a fan of the music industry. I think that it is a massively gatekeeper-oriented world. I think that it has so many inherent flaws in how, you know, creative people are exploited and you know, taken advantage of by the gatekeepers in that industry. And so I'm not entirely sure about that part of it, but I do think that there is absolutely a point at which, when you look at content, the interruptive ad-based model is not a good one. And I think that when we, you know, there's no one who's sitting in this room who's going to be really surprised by that perspective coming from me, the guy who has always made, you know, well, not always made, who's made almost as much money from non-advertising sources on YouTube as he's made from advertising sources on YouTube, you know? I have made a lot of money from ads, but I've also made a lot of money from not ads. And in my live streaming world, I've made almost no money from ads. It's all been from direct fan support. It's been from, you know, sponsorships and fan funding and Twitch alerts or whatever else. So, hello, Sean P. Yeah, so when Hank Green talked about sponsor, like, he kind of confused two things. He said subscriptions, and but I think his primary subscriptions thing, he was thinking of YouTube Premium, what I think of as YouTube Red, and then he talked about direct fan funding and mostly talked about that in the context of Twitch, because Twitch has been doing it longer and more effectively. Crap. I needed to get further and forgot where I was going. Okay, let's go ahead and go back here and try this again. And the music industry got there. Well, so the music industry is also, but I mean, yeah, so the music industry got there in part, though, because they had to, right? Part of the reason that the music industry got to where it did, where they are, like, so funded by things that aren't advertising, is because they couldn't get advertising money, because the entire, like, the radio world negotiated that they just wouldn't have to pay ads, because radio is just so clearly valuable to the, how many of these do I have? Oh, here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need to find 13 of these things? Jesus Louise. Okay, let's see if I can throw this guy at something and make... Guess not. Yeah, hello, Mike on the fly. But yeah, so because the radio industry effectively convinced, I don't know, whoever, that licensing royalties shouldn't be a thing for performers, I guess. So songwriters get paid via ASCAP, composers get paid via ASCAP, but nobody else gets paid. Because they managed to convince them of that, then they're in this weird world where it's like, well, shit, now what do we do? And the answer can't be ads, so they had to come up with different approaches to the problem. And I think that that's one of the things that made them special. But yeah, so because interruptive ads were not the primary way of funding the music industry, they had to go ahead and find other solutions, and that's why you have the subscription model that you have with Spotify and all these other services. And he basically said, let's do that instead. And I thought that was interesting. I mean, it's no surprise to me. It's a thing I've been pushing for a long time. It's a thing that I strongly believe. And one of the things that I've always pointed out is that, especially for my live streams, I make way more money per viewer from my, you know, I'm gonna have a problem here because I don't know if I can actually get my little barrel thing back over. How can I do that? There we go. Yeah, I mean, this isn't just, I mean, oh, okay. I guess that flower had a ghost in it? I didn't know that flowers could have ghosts, but fine. I guess I should pick all these flowers and see if there's other ghosts. Okay, no other ghosts in the flower. No ghosts in the machine! Let's go back here. Oh, crap. Did I, like, screw myself? Hey, buddy, come here. Oh, no! Crap! Okay, I think maybe I can pick up this gold thing? I think there's a gold statue around here somewhere that I can pick up. And then his other talk was, what do you call it? I hate giving advice, but okay, fine. Which is like how I oftentimes feel about things. So Hank Green is, of course, a successful YouTuber. He's been doing this a long time, and he's basically built not just a YouTube channel, but an entire media empire based on his experiences. He started with the Vlog Brothers. He's helped run Crash Course and Mental Floss and like a million other channels that he's been a part of. For PBS Digital Studios, his wife runs an extremely effective project called The Art Assignment with PBS, and in general, he has been a massive component of the entire edutainment space on YouTube, and so he's constantly being asked for advice. And the first thing he said was, like, I have no idea how I got here, which I think is true, even if he can look back in hindsight and like see how to, like, what makes some of his content special. But he didn't do it on purpose. He did it on accident, and he got there because he started early. And he said, you know, like, I started back when Smosh was the main thing, and being better than Smosh was easy. But his main pieces of advice were, 1, be a little bit better. 2, find a thing that's working for someone else and then spin it. And 3, use your unique toolbox. And so he said, I liked it, he said, you know, find a way to take something and spin it. You know, maybe you need it to be, you know, more analytic. Maybe you need to be less analytic. Maybe you need it to be more serious. Maybe you need to be less serious. Maybe you need to have more drone shots. Maybe you need to have less drone shots. And just said, you know, look at all the things out there that are succeeding and try and find some way that you can do the same thing but different. And I thought that was really good advice. He then gave an example of a guy on YouTube called Dr. Mike, who I have never seen, and I doubt is Mike Yale the Gamer, and said, you know, this guy, what makes this guy special? Well, thing number 1, he's a doctor. So he's gone through years of med school, which is something that not the average person hasn't done. You know, what's another thing about him? Well, he's super attractive. Like, he's got that going for him, which not everyone does. But then also talked about his ability to be like a communicator, talked about his ability to hit on, you know, interesting questions that he could answer that not everyone would have the answers to. He talked about a whole series of things. Okay, are you going to tell me something useful? Yeah, I know that. All right, let me shake myself a boomerang here and see if we can get rid of all of these at the same time. So yeah, Dr. Mike is an Instagram star and is, you know, this extremely attractive guy, and he's got like all of these skills that, you know, he can take advantage of and create something unique, special, and different. And yeah, like, it's really hard. So that was the other thing that he said, is that it's really hard and it's not getting easier. And so this is one of the reasons why VidCon announced that they're actually going to be doing a creator grant program where they will be giving away $2,000 to one creator every week the entire year. The VidCon program committee will be selecting them and helping them that way. So he said, you know, as it's getting harder, one of the things that we should see is these platforms helping creators more. You know, it can't just be like, you know, whatever the algorithm says is good and just do whatever the algorithm says, that it should really be something where platforms can give better advice about what should work for them, rather than just this idea of you kind of have to guess, And he framed it as like YouTube doesn't want to share its special sauce, and I think the reality is that like YouTube doesn't know its special sauce. A lot of people think that YouTube like has all the secrets. Like I've been asked this so many times by people who just don't believe me, that YouTube has all these secrets that they're just not telling people. YouTube doesn't know. Like, especially in your vertical, in your space, like, could someone look at it and maybe give you some advice based on other things they think could work? Yeah, sure. But so could you. And realistically, you probably know your space way better than the average, like, YouTube engineer or partner manager or anything else like that. So, hello, Tails First. Is it Matusa's birthday? Oh, happy YouTube birthday. Okay. Yeah, so Dr. Mike is like an actual real doctor. Can I roll while I'm... No, right? Oh, but I can throw this through there. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now let's grab this and look in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. Okay. Somewhere there's one more. Oh no! Can I grab that from the other side? Chelsea? Okay. Alright, because the last one is this one right here that I don't know how to get. Maybe I can throw this up the top side here. There we go. Got it! So that was good. I thought that was and so that's one that I actually want to go back. I took some notes, but I actually want to go back and type out a few more of the notes because I think that he actually had some cool, more, oh god, I should have grabbed that tricycle and I failed. He had some cool points about, you know, what your unique toolbox might look like and what things he's seen, and I thought that was really great. And in fact, the entire creator keynote was, as usual, one of my favorite parts of the session. The creator keynote this year did have a lot of really, like, deeply emotional and personal stuff, and it wasn't bad, but it was kind of not what I was looking for at the time. I really wanted something a little bit more upbeat, and they had a lot of LGBTQ creators, which is good, but it also meant that you're dealing with people who have right now, especially with politics and the world as it is, a lot of pain, and some of that pain was directed at YouTube, and that's always frustrating. You know, it's not because like I'm angry at them for feeling that way, but just because I know how hard it can be when you feel like, you know, you're under attack from all angles. Shit, that did not work for me at all. So I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do here. Go this way and then up. Okay, made it. Cool. Didn't get the yellow gem, but that's fine. Oh, I have to bring the tricycle? Oh, fuck. I get for not reading my story. Oh no! Oh, tricycle, come back. Oh god! No! No, that did not work. Look, lady, I don't understand why you can't just buy a new tricycle. Seriously? Ah! Ah! Stuck. Yeah, so those were the two most inspiring talks, was Jack Conti's Patreon talk and Hank's 2 talks. Well, no, Hank's 1 talk was inspiring. Hank's other talk was interesting in the ways that I generally find the industry interesting, but less on a personal level. The rest of the creator keynote talks were exactly the types of things that I go to the keynote for, but just like I said, the tone was a little bit more, I mean, frankly, the tone fit a little bit more of the world at large at the moment, and that was sad, because the world is sad. Ah! Somehow I've got to... I did this before. Ah! No, Tricycle, I love you. I know that the Tricycle is necessary to beat the level, but I'm just gonna keep doing this anyway. Alright. How the frick did I make that jump? Okay, there we go. Ah! Crap. Okay, I overshot. Ah.
Let's go.
Yeah, so the Tricycle is like anytime the Tricycle is not on a completely flat angle and you're attempting to rocket boost with it, it definitely gets a bit herky-jerky. And I don't know if that's because there's like a better way of what I'm doing than I'm supposed to be using or what, but... Okay, so that time it was easier because I had a running start. Oh god damn it! My joystick went the wrong way for a second there, and... Yeah, pretty much Matus. I think the answer is I just need to be less twitchy. There we go. All right. Now you can ride your Tricycle again. I think you should have just bought another one. Okay, so inspirational. I got Jack, I got Hank. One that was the most fun was going to the talk with Ask a Mortician and Emily from Brain Scoop. Caitlin is extremely funny. And because it was a really small crowd, it was in one of the smaller rooms, and it was, and it just wasn't a huge crowd, and it ended up being very, like, social interactive, and so we were just kind of, like, shouting out questions, and she was just making jokes the entire time. And because Emily and Caitlin refer to themselves as the dead people, you know, channels. They were both just like, you know, talking about the most ridiculous things that they have seen. One of the questions was like, you know, what's the most ridiculous story you have? You know, what is the most funny thing you found inside something you were cutting apart? And I guess, you know, one of the things that I learned is that beavers, you know, so they obviously like they chop down trees, and so their stomachs are full of wood pulp, which I guess, or sawdust, like, which I didn't really realize. I mean, it makes sense once you think about it, but I hadn't really thought about. And so she cut apart a beaver at some point and got a stomach full of sawdust. I thought that was cool, but what she forgot was that beavers actually have to, in order to get the energy out of their food, they have to actually eat something twice. So they have to eat it, and then they poop it, and then they eat it again. And so she went to like show her coworkers, like, hey, look, you know, we're gonna cut apart this beaver, and its stomach is going to be full of sawdust, like the one that she had just cut up. It turned out she got the other one at the different part of its digestion cycle, and so its stomach was full of, you know, half-digested poop. And so I just thought that was just a hilarious story of like, you know, you learn something cool, you want to show it to somebody else, that just doesn't ever quite work out who you thought. Yeah, seriously, Tails. Ah. I don't know if I'm actually doing... I mean, it is, like, doing the little sparky things that make me think I'm doing damage to it, but... But yeah, so Caitlin was great, and then after her talk was over, she actually went, you know, so at VidCon, because they're so concerned about safety, there's actually like all of the speakers have to go out one entrance, all of the participants have to go out another entrance, especially on the community track in the main building, and so they're like super concerned about security, which is a problem for these smaller YouTubers. Like, you know, Caitlin is not, Ask a Mortician is not worried about like stalkers or people hurting her. Maybe she should be, but she's not. And so she was like, you know, we want to talk to these people. Can we go out there? And the staffers are like, no, you have to go out the other way. And she's like, okay, well, wink, wink. Oh God, what the friggity frick? Okay, I guess you're just gonna do that to me. But yeah, so she went out into the hallway afterwards. It was like, you know, we'll be back out there, don't worry about it. And they came around and snuck back out. Not that they'll stop you, but that it's just not the normal way they do things. And I went up to her and I said, like, Julie, my daughter absolutely loves your channel. I do too, but I told her I would tell you that she likes your videos. And she's like, oh, cool. Like, where's she? I said, oh, she's back in Boston. She can't make it. And so she recorded a video greeting for Julie, and was like, Julie, I don't know where you are. I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know why you're not here. But you know, we were waiting for you, but we just had to start the panel without you. And so she was just very, you know, playful and fun, and really trying to kind of make it a fun experience, which I thought was great. I just thought it was really nice that she was just able to do that. And one of the questions I asked in the Q&A was like, do you think of yourself as a YouTuber? And she said, oh no. Like, both she and Emily were like, no, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm an educator. You know, I try and keep people educated about, you know, death-related topics. I'm someone who really wants to improve the ability of people to talk about their family, with their family about these things, but I am not, like, YouTuber is not a title that I assign to myself. What the fuck? Okay, 1 to 2 goes here, and then I have to go find something else, which I think is down, and then this way. 3 takes me to 4, and then I don't want to touch 4. I want to go down again, yes. 5 take me to 6. I guess 5 doesn't take me to 6. Okay. 3 should take me to 4. That's what it just did, right? Okay, 3 takes me to 4. 5 doesn't take me to 6. Well, so I mean, I thought that was part of why I asked the question, but I think that one of the things is that they define themselves not as people who put stuff on YouTube first and foremost, but as you know, educators or people who work in like an educational space. And so Emily in particular mentioned that she's been working on you know, museum advocacy for her entire, you know, career. That she did it with a blog before, and she's done it at conferences for a long time, and she works the Field Museum, and so these are all things that she's been doing for a long time, and so she doesn't think of herself as a YouTuber because she just thinks of herself as a museum advocate. And I think that that's a big difference. Is I also think that when you look at Coyote Peterson, who does the Brave Wilderness show, he mentioned that he was not out to, you know, while they wanted to, you know, find a way to make something financially viable, their goal was not, you know, fame. They were not even sure they were going to put it on YouTube. Their goal was to kind of provide an outlet and a medium for people who were interested in seeing something that matched the Steve Irwin style. And so what they had found was that a lot of people... What are you telling me? Might take me to the wrong place. Yeah, I can tell that. That's kind of what I'm running into here. So it's not like there's a simple definition. It's not like there's a simple answer to that question. It's going to be personal to every person answering the question. Okay, the warp zones 1 through 8 will have a red and green exit. There's green, red. Okay, so that's also red. But I really want to find the green. I'm not really sure how to do that. Okay, so green is an exit. I need to find a green for this. That takes me back to a red. You can't go up here, right? But yeah, so Julie, like, totally squeed as she ran around the house after I sent her the video, is what I heard from the people who were here at home. She screeched, apparently. I was wrong. Okay, so that's red. Did not run around the house. She stomped a whole lot in one plate. There you go. Now you've got the true facts of the matter from someone who is here on the ground. Yeah. So they were fun, and I think because Julie, go to bed. Oh, that's a good point, Stingray. I told you to go to bed an hour ago. Go to bed. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning, which I do by going here. Same thing I do now. 10:30, Matus. Okay, I need to find the way back to... Oh yeah, well, that's a different story. In general, the head to bed at 9 because it takes you an hour to get, like, in bed mode, and you should be, like, going to sleep at 10, is the general approach that I have taken for a long time, and will continue to take unless people don't live in my house. But certainly running around the house and hiding in closets at 10:30 at night is not appropriate. Okay, I need to get back to the beginning and I don't know how anymore. Ah! Okay, 3, 4. 5. If I take the red 5, it takes me back to 3. Anywhere to go from 3 except 4. 4, I should be able to go back to 1. Yes, after Julie burst into tears sobbing at a minor issue, she went up and laid in bed, and I told her she should go to sleep because that was probably evidence that she was tired. Three to 4, then straight over the pit. Okay. But not... 3 to 4, and then straight over the pit. 3 to 4. Straight over the pit. Get out of here. I take this. I take 3 again, and it takes me somewhere else. Now I'm at 2. Oh, 2 takes me to 1. 2 takes me to 1. Good job. Okay. So there's a green and a red for each thing. I am here. Okay, so I need to like... go down. I don't know how to read this map. I think I go down and then I go across. I go down and then I go so like right, down, left, right, down, left. I think. Right, down, left. I can't go left. Yeah, so I feel like what I want to do is go through this work. That was when I go in for. The 3 takes me to 2, takes me to 1. I want to look at this map again. Oh, actually, I should go through here and just figure out. Okay, it does take me to 2. This way. Okay, so if I'm at 3, if I go in 4, it takes me to 6. Hey, look at that. The cave's boss is Sasquatch B. You'll need 2 tips to clear the stage. Confuse the tank's aim, and after the beast chain, shake and slam it to the ground. Red 1, red 4, and green. Red 1, red 4, and green 8. If I am in any of those, re-enter these warp gates. Say 1 or 4 green. Is this a real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a nightmare, no escape from reality. Okay, R1, re-enter. Alright, so let's go ahead and look for something else. Okay, grab these. 7. Alright, so if I take R7, that takes me to 8. Green 8, it said take back out. Okay, that took me to red 8. Enter the hole on the right. I will then face the boss, Sasquatch B. But I don't really want to face the boss. I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway, good job, Stingray. Thank you very much. Hat spin for Stingray. I definitely had about a half dozen people ask if they could spin my hat, and several people spin my hat without asking, which is a little bit invasive, but I don't actually mind. Alright, Sasquatch B. Alright. Oh. Did not go as I wanted to. Yeah, I mean, like I said, for me personally, it doesn't matter, but I definitely think that, like, it's just polite to ask. Oh, I failed. Oh. What was the... I mean, I was wearing a hat. Not sure what that means. I wanted to get that to turn around so he would like shoot the other way. I think you did. I could be wrong. Okay, so now I have turned his tank around. It doesn't even want to turn around anymore. Oh. What I did was I turned it around and then I smacked him in the head once, but I don't seem to be able to do that again. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I need to grab the rock and hit him, not the turret. So give me a rock. Oh. There we go. Okay, so I talked about the inspirational stories, I talked about the fun sessions. The other things was, there was one that was kind of video production tips, just like how to make videos faster. And a lot of them were very common sense things, you know, like he talked about the fact that it used to be that he would spend 20 minutes getting everything set up every time. Talked about the fact that, you know, he would have a lot of time turning on and off lights and other similar problems, and that the way he fixed all of those is just to, first of all, keep your setup set up. Find a way to do that, even if you've got a tiny little spot. You got to try and minimize the amount of time that you spend doing things that aren't actually making videos. Totally reasonable advice, but not always sensible. So he talked about, for example, instead of turning on his lights individually, he has a like power strip that they're all plugged into, and he just flips on the strip whenever he wants to start filming. He has a tripod that he uses just for filming in his studio space at home, and uses a separate tripod for anything he films outside. More interesting though was things like, you know, when producing a film, a video, go through, do a rough cut, and just kind of have markers for where you want clips, and then like categorize what type of clips they are. You know, is this a stock footage clip? Is this a reference footage clip? Is it clip from a certain video game? Is it archive footage from an old, you know, video you've done? And that by grouping all of that together, you do way less context switching in the context of trying to get your filler, your B-roll.
Let's continue.
So I'm not sure what the difference between life up continue and these other things are. Go ahead and try the life up continue and see how that goes. It might just be one power up, or it might be, yeah, I think that's one rather than two. Okay. Nope. Okay, so now I got it turned around, but I don't seem to be able to go away the other way again, and it doesn't feel like this is giving me a lot of benefit. I don't remember what the advice she gave was. Like, mess with the tank's aim, and there was like phase 2 advice for the other thing. So the problem is that, like, with a lot of these bosses, what I've found, Tails, is that I'm not actually hitting them. So it may be that I'm just doing this boss entirely the wrong way. I'll give it another little bit, and if I can't work it out, then I will go ahead and swap back to, I'll look up a guide and see if I can figure out what I'm doing wrong. Hello, Max Joseph. Bye. Take care. But yeah, the video production tips was great. You know, someone stood up at the end. Oh yeah, so like Jack Conti was the only presentation I was in where the speaker got a standing ovation. The video production tips, someone said, you know, basically like this was worth the entire conference for me. So thank you. Oh, okay. I guess that is it. Yeah, so the arrow on the gun barrel is the, like, you can attack this arrow. Which is why I was a little confused, because usually that's the, like, it's attack time. So I was a little bit confused as to why that was not what I was supposed to do. Yeah, exactly. Alright, I don't remember what her advice was for this. Let's step out of the way for a little bit and see if goes into any other mode. Doesn't seem that way. But yeah, with some of the bosses I found that like I was supposed to grab them and then swing their appendage in another way. Like rather than just swinging it down, I'm supposed to swing it up or something. There we go. Alright, let's shake the body. Shake, Shinora. My new boss is great. Go ahead, kick me. I'm just gonna take advantage of this. What is this game called? Mischief Makers. Okay, so I was supposed to do something different in first phase. Take up to flip the Sasquatch upside down. Ah, I need to get a better... My USB cable for my controller is crappy. Alright. Shake, shake. There we go. Yeah, so this is the problem that I've had for most of them, is that, like, I don't try the right button combination, and so what should be, like, 3 hits ends up being this nightmare of not working. And I think mostly it comes down to I'm bad at using my shake ability. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Is like grab onto this and then do that. Because then it does a bunch of damage to him. And you can tell because now his little tank is upset that I have done something to anger him. So as is often the case, CPG should cheat better. Oh no! Didn't quite make it up fast enough. Ah! Anyway, yeah, no, new boss is great. He's actually on paternity leave this week and next week. But he's been great. I really enjoyed getting to meet him when I was in Mountain View. And I look forward to continuing to work with him. I like the new team. I like what I'm working on. I'm working with developers instead of whiny YouTubers. I'm working with a team of people who are have been at YouTube or Google for a long time, which is really an interesting difference. When I worked at YouTube, a lot of the people who worked at YouTube, because it's been growing so fast, have been relatively young. Whereas my current team, like I have been at Google the least time of all of my team members. Which is definitely not the case on my previous team. Ah, crap. Okay, I need to just try this whole thing again. I think not all bosses need to have a health bar, but it would be nice if the visual indications of health were more were better. Ah! I'm just doing too many, my jets are doing too many forward motions and not enough up motions. Ah! Practicing here a little bit. But yeah, the little targeting icons are basically just to give you a clue about what you're supposed to be doing, which is sometimes useful, sometimes not for me, turns out. All right, bring it on, baby. Oh no! I had it all the way up and then I backed off. God damn it. Alright. Alright, Sasquatch B. Bring it on. I can take your beast mode. Oh, okay. So I think I have to wait a little bit longer on that. Oh, then quickly shake it down. Okay. There we go. See, I would never have figured out that that was the trick. That I have to first grab this thing. Like, I did figure out I had to grab it. So to my credit, I got that far. But knowing I have to flip this up and then down quickly, no. Never would have happened. Thank you, internet. Boom shakalaka. But yeah, if bosses got significantly more red as you did damage to them, or if they speed up very visibly, maybe that's okay. But in general, ugh, I need more indication that something's going on so that I know when something isn't. The winner is me. I do need to, like, at some point I really need to automate the spinning of the propeller hat, but... Love is sad and beautiful, and someone is always trying to destroy it too. Trying to destroy the evil empire and fight for world peace. Here's a useful tip for me. Get tired of pressing buttons, try using a control stick. I already do that. Grabbing is where you must begin. Shaking for treasure from within. Throwing far is how to win. My throw will conquer you. Other talks that I enjoyed, the Wisecrack talks were great. I love Wisecrack. I've enjoyed their Earthling Cinema stuff. I also found out that they started with Thug Notes. So Thug Notes is basically Cliff Notes, but presented in like a thug, persona. You've got their like 8-bit philosophy, where they're trying to use 8-bit games to teach philosophy, and they've tried to do all this like how to make educational experiences fun work. That was really fun to see. And their senior content editor is both really well read and really thoughtful about his work, as well as having done a lot. And then I also saw the College Humor folks, and they kind of went through their whole process of how they take something and make it into a video. So I guess they produce 2 videos a day, which is ridiculous. They film 2 videos a day, which is crazy to me. And then so they do like pitches on Monday, they do writing on Thursday, they do rewrites on Friday, they put things into the greenlit pile later. They also gave demonstrations on some of the techniques that they use for making things seem like they are. So they just went through a whole bunch of videos and basically said, yep, that's one of our offices. Yeah, that's a conference room. Yeah, I know it has a bed in it, but that's because we brought a bed and put it in the office. And talked a little bit about how you can kind of give the sense of a space without being there. So that like audio cues are very useful. That if you put someone at a counter, even if it's not a counter in a kitchen, and record them, if you add the sound of a stove turning on, or of water boiling, or of something else like that, it can really make people feel like they're in a space even though they're not. I think the example they gave was actually a bathroom. How if you do that, if you add a flushing noise, a whole bunch of different spaces will be perceived as a bathroom space, even though they're not. That was a quick level. Try to go to the next area. Oh god. Oh, okay, that's not the whole level. I was gonna say, that seemed very easy. Yeah, with these guys, I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. Out of here. Ah! You can throw your bombs, you can shoot your guns. I'm just gonna run by you. Oh. Okay. These rockets are getting a little bit harder. Guns are getting a little bit more aggressive. Punching is being slightly more effective. At some point I may not be able to just run past all these guys. Ah! What else does Chris do? I don't know. What else should I do? I'm currently thinking about starting a YouTube channel that does reviews of YouTube Red original shows because no one else is doing it. Then I realized that no one really does review content on YouTube in general. They do like analysis pieces, but there's not a lot of just like opinion pieces on like TV series. There's not like you know, the best Netflix original shows or other things like that either, which kind of surprised me and makes me wonder if I'm missing something. But since everyone always asks me what the YouTube Red originals are, and I have watched more of them than the average person, I think, considering doing that anyway. Ah! Did not mean to take damage there. Okay.
Let's continue.
Oh, I mean, so YouTube Red certainly wouldn't pay me to review them while I work at Google. That would be very weird. In fact, one of the questions that I'm not sure of the answer to is just like, is this even okay while working for Google? So I need to ask someone that. But I, okay. Okay, so I need to get up close to him so I can grab onto his face when he is about to do that laser thing, so I can aim the laser power in my hands. Somehow. That did not work as well as it did the last time. So you're reviewing Super Fox 5, you're reviewing TV content? Or just video games? There's a lot of video game review stuff, but there's not a lot of non-video game review stuff from what I've found. Yes, Tails, yes, YouTube Premium is the replacement for YouTube Red, and it pays creators in the same way as it always did. Okay, I guess I didn't need to get my hands full of lightning, so that's handy. Yeah. Yes, there's a lot of video game reviews, very few TV reviews that I've seen. Not sure why that is. Yeah, so we were talking earlier about the difference in revenue from my channel between like advertising and premium is that, well, thank you very much, Tails First. So Super Chat for tonight is going to Kids in Need of Defense, which is an organization which helps provide legal aid for kids who are self-representing in the immigration system. They're an organization which has been working to help ensure, because our immigration courts aren't actually criminal courts, there's no legal standard that they have of being provided representation by the government. They're basically administrative courts. And so Kids in Need of Defense is an organization which funds lawyers for kids. Otherwise, you can have kids as young as 2 or 3 years old representing themselves pro se to an immigration lawyer. You know, John Oliver did a piece on this not too long ago and pointed out that, you know, there's actually a judge who is like, you know, you can teach immigration law to a 3-year-old, or I can teach immigration law to a 3-year-old, and it's like, that's so ridiculous. So Alright, let's try and shake this in different directions. Alright, so I stole your shield. Ah! Okay, this is bad. I appear to be getting slamified. Yeah, so Super Chat for Good is a new thing. I got in the beta, you know, back when I worked at YouTube, and helped demo it, and that's the reason I have it. But it should be rolling out for more people soon, I think. I have no dates, I have no super special information, but I think that the icon change is one of the things they wanted to do before they got it out, so that people would realize that it was something different than just regular Super Chat. So. And when the immigration stuff was happening last week, I was very like, the hell can I do here? Unfortunately, it didn't work last week, but here it is this week, so I appreciate you giving that $1 for charity. And the nice thing about it is that unlike, you know, there's 100% of your donation goes straight to charity. Google covers all of the fees and everything else related to it, which is kind of nice. Alright, come here. Oh, not succeed in shaking you. Shake this and get something out of it. Nope. Definitely would love to have some kind of indication of health here. But yeah, so YouTube Red, I got about 5 cents per watch hour of content on my live streams, compared to, you know, the average user watches for 20 minutes, and so and I would make, like, you know, generally $1 per 1,000 views or something like that is the rule of thumb for advertising revenue on YouTube. And so with the average view being, you know, 20 minutes, that means that I would get about 3 views per hour, or 3 to 5 views per hour. So YouTube Red, so you're talking about like 0.3 cents versus 5 cents. So something along the lines of 15 times as much revenue per watch hour for my particular content. Thanks, Leif. Remember this one tip: if I use the statue technique wisely, I don't have to explode a clan bomb. See a clan box, besides breaking it, you might consider not breaking it. Okay. Amadeus is also known as Leif. Ah. Want to go ahead and do this. Okay. Ah. Okay, so this one takes me back to the beginning. Don't care about that. This one makes a bomb appear. Do care about that, but it's not very helpful to me. Pop that. Make this happen. I'll grab this. Oh. I wonder if I place this statue here. I shake, shake. So I need 2 bombs, and I need them to blow up this red thing. What am I missing as far as that goes? Oh, okay. Whew. So I think if I grab this statue, I shake, shake, and I, nope. Want it to be able to. So I don't think there's any way that I can shake, shake the bomb and hit it with the statue, which is the other thought I had. So I need to blow up the 2 red walls. Ah! Can't get the statue. Good question. I cannot. I can only make 1 statue. Okay, so there's a reset button, which probably means that there's a reason for it. Maybe there's an order of operations problem here. There's no extra options needed to use it. It'll just be for me. I don't know if like, as far as I know, and I could be wrong on this. Super Chat for Good will require nothing additional beyond. Well, you have to have monetization enabled, as far as I know. So if you don't have monetization enabled, then it's probably not going to be available. Because that's the same as like the donation cards and other stuff like that, I think. But once you did that, it would be just like, you'd probably have to have go through the Super Chat agreement, which does mean that you have to put in some information. I don't know. I guess the better answer to the question is I have no idea. As someone who already had Super Chat set up, I didn't need to give YouTube any extra information. It's a UI that can be used by anyone who has that, as far as I know. Okay, so I think The pig face triggered the star on the upper right. This one. So I do this, and that gives me this. I do this, and this gives me this. I do this, and this gives me these. One of which makes this star appear, and one makes the blue face appear. Then I can take this, make a statue. And then I can drop another bomb if I want. This is 5-3, I think. Okay. Hello, Brad. So what I failed to realize is there's actually two things you can do at the start. I could shake this, or I can hit this star. And if we hit this star, then we have a whole different set of options available to us. So now we can go ahead and come over here. We can shake ourselves a way out of here. Oh, don't want that. This. And now do that. Oh. And then because it doesn't fall, it lets us actually grab this bomb and do something with it. Do it again. Now we can come back and I believe got this orange clam ball. Oop, no. Now we gotta move the statue. Statue, go away. I'll take this bomb, throw it where I want it. Take this star. Here, shake that. Oh no! Oh no! Take care, Tails. Shit. I was this close. Okay. Do it again. Now, let's try this again with less failing this time. Oh! Fuck. Fine. Okay, now I go through this star, make the green one, up top, I guess I didn't actually need that yellow thing, but whatever, we got it. Helps us give some life for later. Now, off to the races. Past these turrets. Okay, so when she does her swing, I need to shake her in the air. Failed. Slowly. Nope. Not that slowly. Boom. Take that. Hat spin. An interesting thing actually about wearing this hat to VidCon is that it definitely has... Oh, shit. Grab, snap, shake, and throw. I don't know what snap is, but okay. Yeah, I just realized that, like, by asking for that hint, which I didn't really need, I'm using up 10 things that I could use for, that I could use for continues later, but whatever. Alright, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bosses left. Alright, talking Japanese, you weird bird. Well, that sucked.
Let's continue.
Normal continue basically with just like 1 health bar, I think.
Yahoo!
I may have to go back to earlier stages and get some more health somehow. Okay. You've now lost both of your weapons. Hello, May throws. Oh. Damn.
Let's continue.
Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, the reality is, I don't think Brad can hear me, but hugging the drill is perhaps better than just hugging the falcon, which was my other approach here. Ack. Alright, let's try this one more time so we can figure out anything here. Heck. I'm a little bit curious about the physical space in which I'm in here. Feels a little bit like an infinite corridor of falling or something. Alright, let's see what we can do here.
Yahoo!
So according to the guide that I'm reading, I'm supposed to hit him with this lance. Or the shield, just as he bounces back is what it says. So I think I'm just not hitting him at the right time. I had thought that the drill was going to be part of it, but apparently I was wrong. God damn it.
That's better.
Worst part is that this is a 3-phase fight, and I'm not even through phase 1 yet. Phase 1 complete. Alright. Alright.
Let's continue.
Let's go. Let's go.
Ready?
Ah. God damn. Alright, getting better, getting better. Ah. Alright, so now we got lasers, dodge the lasers, more lasers, more lasers, now everywhere lasers. Everybody have lasers tonight. Everybody have lasers tonight. Two. Lasers, lasers, lasers. Missed. Ah. Okay.
Let's continue.
Let's go. Let's go.
Ready?
Yes. Whew. That was nice. Alright. This is never the one, but we'll see. I missed. Peck, 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 peck. Damn it. Ah. Gotta grab the head and then dodge the dragon. And not take all of my health away like that. God damn it. Fuck.
Let's continue.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I may have to go back and get some more red gems so I can do some more powerful continues. I was clearly not cautious enough with them earlier on. And this is one of the things that I come back to, is I just don't like the grindiness of things like that. This feels kind of silly. Oh, come on. Seriously? Disagree on that hitbox on that drill, but whatever. Ah! Seriously? Okay, phase 2. Let's go. So another interesting thing about going to VidCon is just that, like, some of the people that I see there year after year, it's kind of fun to see them again. So I saw the person who does articulations, whose name was Betty. She was actually on a panel this year. And when I met her originally, she had 600 subs when I met her at VidCon a few years ago. And so now she's up on panels. It was fun to see, you know, coworkers, you know, who I don't get a chance to talk to as much. And they got to, you know, the opportunity to go out and speak to people and try and help people actually see things. I talked to one of the people who, I wonder if,
Game over.
I really want a game over. I want to go back to other things. Is that going to actually game over, or does it just send me to... Oh, well, that was not what I wanted. Okay, so I'm going to have to beat this with just 2 life bars and go back afterwards. That sucks. Not what I was hoping for. But yeah, and then so a couple of my coworkers were there kind of in a half professional, half personal capacity, and I gave some advice on which panels I thought were going to be best to go to. I thought that was fun. Of course, I saw a bunch of the YouTube gaming community folks there, so I got to meet SnapClickCat for the first time, which was awesome, as well as her brothers, which was awesome as well. And I got to... as well as a bunch of the other people that we've met before. So I saw Biolithic again, I saw Dark Jake, I saw Narcost, I saw Lalo, and so that was fun. I'll admit that it's, you know, there's always a little bit of like, oh, I'm happy that you're here, as well as like a sad for the people that you don't get a chance to see or spend as much time with or anything else, because it's just such a huge event. So like I saw Creekcraft on the day of the IHOP breakfast, but pretty much not other than that, because, you know, we didn't end up in the same presentations. I actually got to meet this really cute kid who runs a channel. He's got like 5,000 subs and he's like 7 years old, a big fan of Creekcraft and plays a lot of Roblox stuff. And so that was cool. I got to meet somebody named Ferris who I did not recognize her at all. I guess she does a lot of Animal Jam content. She's got like 50k subs and she's like, yeah, I know your face from somewhere. And I'm like, I don't know where, because it's not on my Twitter profile. So, you know, it was kind of interesting. I don't know. Like maybe my thumbnails? You know, I got my face in my thumbnails. Like 7 or 8. I didn't ask exactly. Channel was like Planet M something. Well, this run is not going super well. All right. So I definitely need to get into the hardcore save state mode. I won't be save stating at this point, of course, but next time I get a good run, a good first phase, I should definitely go into save state mode. All right. Yeah, I mean, my feeling is generally speaking that it's not necessarily what the approach that I would take. I mean, if they're really interested in it, like, maybe. His parents were clearly very involved, and this is another thing, you know, this is like, Crafty Paris is also pretty young, and has her own YouTube channel, and has done really well for herself. And she's been able to kind of interact with a specific kind of age of community. Although I will say that there's been, you know, I moderated her chat in the past, and there was definitely a lot where I felt like this is uncomfortable because it's people, you know, basically creeping on a young girl. Felt very inappropriate. Some of the reactions. So. Oh, note to self: shooting lance at drill does not help. Flying into drill also does not help. God damn. If they ask you every day, I mean, that's the other thing, is that I reacted kind of poorly because there was this channel at the, like, how to make money on Facebook session, where the guy, you know, is like, oh yeah, a lot of the content is of, like, my 5-year-old daughter or something, and it turns out that when his daughter was, like, 3, he decided to go ahead and, like, he was like, oh, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel and we're gonna be famous, or something along those lines, and I just felt like that was a little bit exploitative of a very young kid. Alright. That's the run. Got a perfect first round out. Yep. Got a save state right after that first head, as well as after the first round, but obviously don't need to keep them both. Damn it. Go ahead, peck at me. Peck, peck, peck. Ah! One of the problems I'm having is actually that, I don't exactly, if I just go down far enough, or if I have to do something else to get his head to snap back. Yeah, this definitely feels like it would be a very hard game to beat without save states. He just got me with every single one of those pecks. Alright. See if we can just put a save after the lasers here. Save ourselves some time. Laser. I think one more laser, and then the all-around laser. Oh. Ah! Just so laggy too. Like, I'm just trying to get in here and get it. I don't know. Yeah, so I was a little bit sad with some of the people that were not able to make it. You know, it's a lot of the folks who had been to previous VidCons who I'd really enjoyed spending time with just aren't YouTube creators anymore. Clintus Games or Clintus Vlogs or whatever, you know, you want to think of it as Clintus McGintis. Great guy. I love his YouTube. You know, I love that he has been able to make a living off of YouTube for several years, but all of his live stuff has really focused more on Twitch. And while he still does the vlogs, you know, he didn't make the VidCon last year or this year. It makes me kind of sad. A lot of the YouTube gaming creators who are kind of original on the site are no longer as focused on this. And I will admit that VidCon doesn't have content for, you know, 5 years that makes it really necessarily worth it to spend $1,000 flying back every year. I did it when I worked for YouTube because I really, you know, because I could get away with it, having work pay for it, and I will probably keep doing it for a little bit longer because I think I'll probably try and take Julie next year. It has conflicted with her finals for a while now, but you know, she's a big fan of the YouTube creator side of things as a viewer, and I think she would have fun meeting some of the people that she likes, like, you know, Caitlin from Ask a Mortician and so on. God damn it. I would love to see like Alex Steele come to one of these pretty soon. He's getting up there in subs, and he's one of those, you know, more recent creators who's been able to grow pretty nicely on the platform, and I'd love to see him you know, come and share his perspective, because a lot of the people that I see tend to be people who've been doing YouTube for a long time, and like Hankrian says, you know, I don't know how I got here. I think is actually true for some of them. There we go. That was good enough that I'll put a save on that. Nope, I can't interest Julie in retro games at all. When Jess and I at one point were playing the original, or when Jess rather was playing the original Legend of Zelda, she was like, "Where's Link?" And we said, "He's that green guy on the screen." And she was like, "Oh, why is he so ugly?" or something like that. Or "How can you tell?" or I don't remember exactly what she said, but yeah. So she's not a big retro game people. You have to keep in mind that like the retro game stuff really for a lot of us is much more about the nostalgia than it is about the actual like these games. Oh, I know you're being silly. But I answer all questions seriously anyway. It's what I do. Personality flaw. But yeah, she's much more into the like anime stuff. She's got some gaming creators she watches that are bigger, I think. Most of the people that she watches I just don't even remember off the top of my head, but I bet there's at least 1 or 2 people at every big con that she would enjoy meeting. I was surprised that she was actually interested in Ask a Mortician. That was kind of a weird fave from my perspective, but hey, you know, I'm down. Whatever makes you happy, kid. God damn it. There we go. Oh shit. Boom. Take that, Birdo. Okay. Yeah, I don't care about A's. All right. Go, robot. There's 3 levels left. Oh, 2 levels left. Story, story, story. Okay. Something, 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 something. Alright, Leo has taken the form of a monolith, so we'll kill this monolith. We're finally awake. We no longer take orders from you. You're underestimating the power of true justice. I know you're busy, but I must confront you. Ow. I'm looking for a bubble with the word dire because I want to not expire. It will have a yellow gem if I can find it, my mother hen. I can't find the one I want, but I know that I can haunt these words bubbles. Oh, these words bubbles. Alright, maybe there's only one and I already missed it. Ah! Fireballs, leave me alone. Take that! You are out of here. I'm going to go. I'm taking all of you with me. Okay, boss man. Oh, no! Oh, the doctor stood in front of me and saved me. Sad. Evil has been defeated. Our adventure is over. I think of you as a daughter. I'm going to sleep. Oh.
Goodbye.
Sad. He was like a father to me, even though I'm a robot. Oh, wait. Whoa. Okay. It was all a lie. The fuck is that? Alright. I guess I'm sending him back home.
Help me, Marina!
Cool. I'm gonna go back to a much earlier level and pick up some red gems. Red gems hype. Oh. Should have stayed on that thing, but whatever. Alright, I have to grab this guy. Come with me, sir. Alright. Well, that's 3. Not a whole lot, but whatever. All right. God damn it. Okay, I guess I have to throw him at those to get it so that he gets knocked out by them. Alright, so that got me a few gems at least. Yeah, well, that's one of the things that's interesting about it, right? Like, this is actually a different game, has a very different style of play. It's not, you know, particularly, you know, traditional or anything. So I think that that's actually like an interesting. It's different. The gameplay is different. It's got a lot of different mixes of. You know, like that level where it was basically a puzzle that, frankly, I couldn't solve, but, you know, it was still a puzzle. You've got things like this, which are also, in addition to trying to teach you something, are puzzle levels as well. Lots of different control schemes. Definitely some things here that I did not get the first time because I couldn't figure out how to work those, so... Go. Okay, so now I got all of those red things. Now I can come back in here, is cool because I will actually get a bunch of extra life this way. Well, oops. So it's definitely interesting. The problem is that I don't actually like a lot of the things that are in here. So, like, yes, great, you've done something unique, but you've done something unique I don't like, which is less fun. It feels a bit clunky and slow moving. The game is a bit laggy, which is unfortunate. There's a lot of little things that it loses out on, and that kind of is sad. The kind of game that I would love to like. Okay, cannot get that. Let's go this way. It was probably this. I don't know that there were a lot of them. Brad would know better. I think he had more information on this game than I did. Alright, let's go ahead and grab these red gems. Take this. Shake myself a star somewhere. Didn't get the yellow gem, but that was fine. Oh, this was the third in the series? Oh, shows what I know. Bike Land Theme Park. Okay, so I've got 124 now, so I am actually good. We'll see if we can make it through this level just to grab a few more in hopes that I can find some life, actually, which is going less well than I might have hoped. Alright, gotta grab this and shake it. Ah! Do not care to use up gems talking to you. Okay, got that yellow gem. Yeah, the suspected spam thing is an Android thing that was added recently. Well, there's actually two related but separate but related anti-spam things that are relatively recent. One is Androids, which gives you the big red warning, and the other one is a T-Mobile feature that you can get, which will identify likely spam calls as well, and does it in the caller ID. So both are very useful in my opinion. Okay. Continue. Final battle. Yeah, so T-Mobile actually, their spam likely detection is something that you can actually just kill all those calls entirely. So for a while I was getting like 3 or 4 spam likely calls a day, and I just turned them all off. I never got a single one that was spam likely that was a real call, and so I just turned them all off entirely. I just said screw it, like I'm not gonna do this anymore. And I have had no one complain they couldn't get a hold of me since then. So who gets phone calls anymore anyway? Like other than your significant others, who presumably are not being marked as spam, otherwise you would notice. Like, who uses the phone for voice?
Through fire, justice is served. A hero with shining armor in cold. To punish evil forces, I have been.
All right, so we got like Megatron from the Power Rangers here.
Ready?
Guy's very agile. Yeah, well, the worst part is that I still get 2 or 3 spam calls a day. Oh, I went the wrong way. There you go. So yeah, so I used to get 3 or 4 a day. Now I'm down to 1 or 2 a day. They're all people trying to get me to sign up for Obamacare spams. And yeah, it sucks. I mean, this is one of the things, like when I got my new phone number, it showed up on the oh no! Oh yes! That's right, shot you with your own hand.
That's better.
But yeah, so my phone number was used for other stuff for a while before I got it, so... Okay, that's bad. That laser is not my friend. I got your hand. It's actually kind of hard to miss, because he takes up like 75% of the screen.
That's better.
Alright, that's 2. I'm assuming he follows the, you know, canonical rule of 3 for video games, even though several of these other bosses don't. God damn. No! God damn it, I wanted to grab that. Failed. And this guy dances like nobody's business. Crazy. Ah! He's Louise. Alright, rolling is good. Got your hand. No! I guess you can miss. I was wrong. Alright, so now we're gonna do laser again, looks like. Yes, that was my opinion, Mike. There's definitely Megazord. Okay, so even when the laser's right on top of me, as long as I'm rolling, it doesn't damage me. Ah! So I was supposed to grab the hand when he does the when he does that move. I'm supposed to grab that hand, and then I get a chance to shoot him with the crosshairs. But I don't know exactly. Like, I grabbed it twice before, and I've even grabbed it once in its current mode. Like, I grabbed it since I last got a hit, but not been a lot of chances to do it. Yeah, I like that. God damn it.
Let's continue.
Alright, so let's do the full life continue. We're starting with all of our life, and this is gonna be it.
Through fire, justice is served.
A hero with shining armor is called. To punish evil forces,
Only a half dozen? Oh, jeez.
charge.
Yeah, so where I am for food, there are a lot of choices for food. I can have delivery pasta, I can have delivery, you know, it's probably a half dozen different American places, like a dozen different Chinese places. I can do Indian, I can do Thai. I think the Brazilian place delivers, 4 or 5 different sushi places. Not quite at this time of night, but... Oh, gotcha. That makes more sense. Although parts of the Silicon Valley are just not that dense. Like the whole... Damn it. I don't know how I grabbed that earlier. Like, I did it, but I can't figure out how to repeat it. Just keep running into it instead. Yeah, I liked Foodler back before Grubhub bought it, but they're really the same thing. Yeah, like that. That's what I'm supposed to do. Now I have this big crosshair. Oh, I'm supposed to hit him. Yeah, there's a place called Uber Eats. They basically just Uber drivers who do delivery pickups, so they go pick up from places like you can do Uber Eats to get delivery, McDonald's. Yeah, or Chaos, I agree. Clearly this is not fair. That's what I'm supposed to do.
That's better.
Through fire, justice is served.
Let's go.
That's what you get for living in the middle of nowhere, Stingray. You should move to a city where you can't afford to live. Then all these problems will go away. Don't get me wrong, I love living in the city, but cost of living is expensive.
Yahoo!
Through fire, justice is served.
A hero with shining armor
Alright,
is called.
come on, baby.
To punish evil forces,
Get a hat spin in here.
in charge.
Get some good luck going. So yeah, overall, VidCon, as it often does, makes me think a lot about what I want to do with YouTube, whether there's anything more that I should be doing with YouTube. One of the things that it did remind me of is that people who are successful at doing things on YouTube are putting in 40 times as much effort as I am. YouTube is a really hard thing. And so when I think of, like, you know, College Humor talking about doing, you know, having to film their entire sketch in a day, when I think of them talking about spending, you know, all this time doing all of these different things, whether it's writing or acting or going through post-production or anything else like that, I'm really reminded how much effort really goes in behind the scenes on a lot of these for things that are really not getting a lot of reward out of it. And that was a pretty consistent message from a lot of channels is, you know, YouTube is hard. It's not getting easier. In a lot of ways, it's getting more difficult. And you know, it's something you've really got to love what you're doing. And people who are trying to do it for the money are just as poor off as they always have been. One of the interesting things was actually hearing the story of how Brave Wilderness got started. So Brave Wilderness is Coyote Peterson's series on wildlife stuff. Very much fashioned after Steve Irwin. You know, he said he was really inspired by Steve Irwin and was sad after Steve died that a lot of the wildlife stuff had really taken this very distant approach, far away from the animals. And so he was, you know, trying to come in and bring that back and remind people that you can be close to animals and that that's a thing that you can actually do. But the way he actually got his channel started is he'd done a bunch of, like, he'd gone to school and done indie filmmaking projects in school, all of which had flopped. And his boss actually said, you know, if you're ever, you know, interested in taking on one of these projects, you know, I could help fund you, you know, like you know, I really believe in what you're doing. You're very passionate. I'd love to be an investor. And so his channel actually started with an investment of $35,000 from his boss. And so he said that they took the $35,000 and where traditional, you know, projects might expect to do 12 videos from that, they put together 52 videos from that. And, you know, which is just a crazy amount of content. And they did it by, you know, sleeping in their cars and sleeping six to a hotel room and other things like that when they were trying to get it started. So, and so they, you know, were able to make that stretch. They scrimped and borrowed and begged but they made all those videos before they even had a YouTube channel. And so they came in with, you know, like 6 months worth of content for the channel, at least the kind of like the core wildlife stuff filmed, you know, in the can, ready to go. And we're able to do that to kind of launch their channel and go from there. And I thought that that was like a really interesting story, is that, you know, $35,000 is a lot of money. It's a big investment, but they were able to make that stretch way farther than the average, you know, person doing a project would be able to do, because they were able to do this in this kind of non-traditional, very low rent way.
That's better.
Boy, am I glad to see you, Marina.
Told you that was the one. Run. Get that hat spin in there. There's no channel on YouTube that's owned by Comcast that I can think of. That seems entirely, I don't know which channel you're thinking of, but thanks, Brad. Final battle. Ending. Hopefully this one's not too hard. Legendary hero Blockman, Terran. I'm deeply grateful to you for protecting Ondine, blah blah blah. Which channel? I mean, the ones that are the stuff that's most obvious is that, like, Disney is the owner of a bunch of channels, right? But I do not believe that for the vast majority of content out there, there's any editorial influence on that. Like, Maker being owned by Disney and being the MCN for a bunch of these places is not controlling that message. Yeah, BuzzFeed is not owned by Comcast. Maybe WatchMojo, but WatchMojo is not what I think of as an independent creator in the first place. So, and I don't believe that they're covering things like that just their ownership is exercising editorial control. I think that's an unfair assessment. Also, Watch Mojo has gone to shit, so the fact that they have a lot of subscribers is not really representative of their current influence, which is much lower than that, in my opinion. Yes. So where am I? Oh, okay. So you don't actually get to... I don't know. Alright, well, there's the credits. We beat the game. I did not beat it with all of the yellow gems, which would be really, really difficult. One of the ways that you get a yellow gem in several of the levels is to not take a single hit. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing that, but thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the game. It really is. It is an interesting and different game. It's really, you know, it's nice to have something that tries something out a little bit differently. I think that you could take this game and make it work better. I think the lag is really bad. I think the controls are a little bit meh, which is how I feel about a lot of N64 games. And I think that there's a lot more that you could do that would make it feel a bit less janky. So if you were to do a remaster of this, I think it could be interesting. I don't think the property has enough interest to do that. I mean, they're just remaking Spyro now, so I don't think that there's actually that. But yeah, the original N64 controller is meh, and emulating it in a PS4 remote is not better. So. I am interested in hearing if you have any retro games that you want me to be thinking about for next week. Hello, Dick Butt. That's been for Dick Butt. Yeah. But yeah, so it's interesting to me that Coyote Peterson and Brave Wilderness was basically just started with a $35,000 loan from his boss, that he was able to turn that into a bunch of different content, much more than a traditional media group was, and now he's got, I don't know, 7-8 million subscribers, maybe more, and really has been able to go out to a lot of different places, and he's basically just always kind of using the stuff from the current project to fund the next project. So he's not getting rich despite having millions and millions of subscribers. You know, he's just kind of paying the bills and making shit work for him, which is awesome. Take care, Stingray. And I thought that was really, you know, good to hear. At the same time, it's a little bit intimidating. You know, if you're an independent creator who isn't going to get that kind of stuff, how can you do things? And I think you have to look at stuff like Jenny Nicholson or Nerdwriter, stuff like Game Makers Toolkit, you know, these projects that people are able to do as side projects and are able to gradually grow until the point where they can be fully supported things. So Game Makers Toolkit has been doing his work for 3 or 4 years now, and has just recently switched into a mode where he's able to fund it full time out of Patreon, and his content has gotten more regular and consistent as a result. I will put another plug out there for the Game Makers Toolkit Patreon. It is one of the best things that I subscribe to. He puts out reading lists every month, does a lot of the technical details behind his product producing, as well as, you know, really giving his thoughts behind the scenes on the episodes. So I really think that that's a nice thing to have. Yeah, so it was good to see some of the people that I really liked from previous years. I really liked the tips from the video production time-saving tips. The most fun talk I saw was Asking Mortician. Most inspirational was a combination of Jack Conti and Hank Green, and I just saw a lot of cool stuff. It was really fun. Yeah, so it was a fun experience. I'm really glad I went to VidCon. Really glad I got a chance to go out there and see people and do things and everything else. So it was good. Good. So thank you very much for watching the game. I am done for the night. Because it's already 12:20, I'm not going to try and do anything else. What I will say is that if you are at all interested in speedrunning, this week is the, what's it called? Games Done Quick series event. So it's a charity event generating money for Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders. I will be watching it all week on my Twitch channel. It is auto-hosting Games Done Quick, so if you want to watch with me, you are welcome to hang out there. I will be there whenever I'm not doing something else. So other than that, have a great week. On Friday, I'll be playing Unravel 2. Looking forward to that tremendously. I hope you'll tune in. And if you have games that you think I should be playing next, anything you're interested in, definitely let me know. Other than that, have a great week, have a great night, have a great everything. Stop by, say hi, watch some speedruns, and I will see you later. Thanks all. Have a good one. Bye-bye.